Between back-and-forth insults, cryptic social media posts, and a mysterious absence, it's safe to say that there's no love lost between Michelle Obama and Donald Trump. Long before she became a political figure, Michelle Obama has advocated for women's empowerment, often using interviews to talk about issues that impact women. With this in mind, it's hardly surprising that she would have deep-rooted issues with some of Donald Trump's past statements about women.
Suburban women, will you please like me?
When he was first running for office in 2016, Trump found himself in hot water after a recording of a conversation from 2005 was released, in which he talked about kissing women without their consent and more.
They're beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
After the recording went viral, Trump issued an apology for the remarks and shrugged them off as locker room banter. But at a rally for Hillary Clinton, Michelle voiced her displeasure over Trump's comments, calling them disgraceful.
This was a powerful individual speaking freely and openly about sexually predatory behavior.
When you make a bid for the White House, it's not just your life that changes, but the life of your entire family, too. What really convinced Michelle to let Barack run for president was her unwavering belief in her husband. With this being said, Trump's constant barrage of personal attacks against Barack must have been difficult for Michelle to handle. Of course, when you're in politics, a certain amount of mudslinging is to be expected, but Trump seemed to take it to the next level. Back in 2012, Trump wrote an X post that called into question President Obama's right to be in office. The Apprentice star wrote, "An extremely credible source has called my office and told me that Barack Obama's birth certificate is a fraud."
Why doesn't he show his birth certificate?
If that wasn't bad enough, Trump also went on a tirade against Obama at a press conference in 2016.
He has been a disaster as a president. He will go down as one of the worst presidents in the history of our country.
Among many other things, Trump claimed that Barack founded the terrorist group ISIS, called him weak, and took aim at his largely positively received health program, Obamacare. All of this rhetoric couldn't possibly have gone unnoticed by Michelle. Politicians typically refrain from making disparaging remarks about first ladies, especially when they're still in office. In 2016, however, Trump had no qualms about breaking this unspoken rule when he took issue with Michelle's support of his opponent, Hillary Clinton. When talking to a crowd at a rally in North Carolina, he said, "I see how much Michelle Obama likes Hillary. But wasn't she the one that originally started the statement? If you can't take care of your home, right? You can't take care of the White House or the country? Where's that? I don't hear that." Trump was alluding to a statement that Michelle made way back in 2007 when her husband was running against Clinton for the 2008 Democratic nomination, seemingly implying that Michelle had been talking about Clinton. However, Michelle was talking about getting her own house in order, balancing family life with the couple's young daughters while also supporting her husband. In 2016, Michelle sat down for an interview with Oprah Winfrey to talk about the future of politics. Even though she didn't call Trump out by name, it was clear that she was talking about him. She said, "Now, we're feeling what not having hope feels like. Hope is necessary. It's a necessary concept." Barack didn't just talk about hope because it was a nice slogan to get votes. What else do you have if you don't have hope? More pointedly, Michelle went on to say that she felt Barack had been a steadfast leader, like a parent America could look to when in need. She stated, "Having a grown-up in the White House who can say to you in times of crisis and turmoil, 'Hey, it's going to be okay. What do we do if we don't have hope, Oprah?'" Michelle's sentiment was clear. She didn't feel as though Trump's win was a win for America, nor that he was the adult needed in the Oval Office to take the country through turbulent times. This interview certainly made waves, as it was widely reported on. Just a day later, Trump addressed Michelle's comments in front of a crowd.
Michelle Obama said yesterday that there's no hope, but I assume she was talking about the past, not the future.
When Hillary Clinton lost the 2016 presidential election, Michelle was struck by the fact that 52% of white women voted for Trump. While speaking at a Boston conference in 2017, Michelle told the crowd, "Quite frankly, we saw this in this election. As far as I'm concerned, any woman who voted against Hillary Clinton voted against their own voice." Well, to me that just says, you don't like your voice. You like the thing you're told to like. In this particular case, Trump didn't fire back at Michelle, perhaps because he had already won the presidency and didn't feel the need to rebuff her comments. However, Michelle's disappointment in American women was apparent, but she was also quick to point out that she hoped Trump's stint in the White House went well, telling the audience, "We want the sitting president to be successful because we live in this country. He is our commander-in-chief. He was voted in." When Trump ran for office in 2024, Michelle fiercely backed his opponent. Vice President Kamala Harris. Michelle even spoke at the 2024 Democratic National Convention, and this time, she didn't hold back when talking about Trump. She said, "For years, Donald Trump did everything in his power to try to make people fear us. See, his limited, narrow view of the world made him feel threatened by the existence of two hardworking, highly educated, successful people who happen to be Black." She went on to call his ideas small-minded and asked why the people should put someone with his ideals into such a powerful position.
Going small is petty, it's unhealthy, and quite frankly, it's unpresidential.
At a subsequent rally in North Carolina, Trump chastised the Obamas for their DNC remarks.
Did you see Barack Hussein Obama last night? Take little shots. He was taking shots at your president. And so was Michelle.
When Trump made his way into the White House for the first time in 2017, he changed a lot of things, including apparently scrapping an initiative near and dear to Michelle. The Let Girls Learn program was started by the Obamas in 2015 as an international quest to help girls in developing countries get important access to education. By May 2017, it looked like the Trump administration decided it wasn't for them. As reported by CNN, an email sent to the Peace Corps executives read, "Moving forward, we will not continue to use the Let Girls Learn brand or maintain a standalone program." However, when reports of this surfaced, the Trump administration claimed that it wasn't true and that there had been no changes to the program. When challenged on why the memo was sent to the Peace Corps if it wasn't true, the administration didn't have an answer. It wasn't the only one of Michelle's initiatives to take a hit during this time. The former First Lady had spent a lot of time working on plans to make school lunches healthier, but the rules were changed on this as well. When Donald Trump was inaugurated for a second time, Michelle was nowhere to be found, leaving many to wonder why. In a short comment provided to CBS News, Michelle's team stated, "Former President Barack Obama is confirmed to attend the 60th inaugural ceremonies. Former First Lady Michelle Obama will not attend the upcoming inauguration." No other explanation was offered, but an unnamed source claimed to People that it wasn't something as simple as a packed schedule. They alleged, "There's no overstating her feelings about Trump. She's not one to plaster on a pleasant face and pretend for protocol's sake. Michelle doesn't do anything because it's expected or it's protocol or it's tradition." The insider went on to claim that Trump's previous controversial remarks, as well as his mudslinging at her husband, made it near impossible for Michelle to sit through the inauguration and play nice. Considering just how much bad blood there is, Michelle's decision to skip the event seems understandable. She also chose not to attend the funeral of former President Jimmy Carter, with some speculating she didn't want to sit next to Trump.
I mean, I understand that that's the game.
Donald Trump's second inauguration was held on January 20th, 2025, which just happened to be Martin Luther King Day. Although Michelle has yet to say anything official about why she wasn't at the ceremony, she did share a message on Instagram about King's legacy, writing, "Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy of service always inspires me. Whether you're mentoring students at your local school or volunteering for a cause that matters to you, it all helps make a difference." In the comments section, many felt that Michelle was sending a poignant message by not acknowledging Trump's inauguration in her post. The commenters largely commended Michelle for her actions too, with one user writing, "Today we honor a king and not a felon." When it comes to Donald Trump and Michelle Obama, no action goes by without a reaction. After Michelle chose not to attend the 2025 inauguration, news broke that the Trump team were reveling in her decision not to come. A source told Page 6, "They are having a good laugh. They didn't expect her to come anyway." With that being said, a Democratic source pointed out to the outlet that when the tables were turned, the reaction was totally different. When Joe Biden was sworn in back in 2021, Donald and his third wife, Melania, chose not to go. As the source noted, this received far less fanfare than Michelle's absence. Whatever the case, something tells us that the ongoing battle between Donald and Michelle isn't likely to be over anytime soon.